Nola, and I'm representing the Hyex program, which is one of the sponsors of the Touch Rugby World Cup. Hyex is a collaboration of a number of universities based in the Midlands, including the University of Nottingham. One of Hyex's main aims is to support industry to innovate, developing new products and services in the hydrogen economy. We decided to sponsor the Touch Rugby World Cup, particularly in relation to energy use, so that Geopura, a locally
Welcome back for another match from day 4 of the World Cup here in Nottingham, the Riverside Complex. This division, the men's 55s, Australia taking on New Zealand. Adam Collins in commentary, joined by Ben Meeks. Meeksy, what are we looking forward to here?
Just two stalwarts of the 55s essentially going at it against each other. I think it's going to be a great game, and I'm looking forward to potentially what is going to be the gold medal match at the end of this tournament for these guys.
There's some absolute touch football legends out here on the park in these two teams. Of course, the number one for New Zealand, Mr. Peter Wallers. Everybody involved in the sport of touch knows Peter. Mr. Touch, known colloquially around the world.
Everyone knows Mr. Touch, right?
Early try, no. Referees pulling that one forward.
Full pass.
Plenty of, from the Australian side, David Chung, Shane Rigby, Brett Gillard, Derek Dewgood. Too many to keep naming. Steve Hughes, I can see down through the list. Absolute legends of the sport. John Salmon, the fish from Australia. I think he might have played in 8 World Cups.
Wow. How many have you done now?
Yeah, this is my 8th.
There we go.
In some
following
capacity.
Each other around the world.
Oh, but hey, he's a player. He's much more skillful than I am. As we see the Aussies on the attack once again. The Kiwis not able to get off their line, so the Aussies in good field position, but a forced pass. And that is an error against the Australians. And now the Kiwis get another opportunity to roll forward. Touch Blacks come up off their line. You will notice a change of speed from some of the earlier matches, but certainly the skills are still there. These guys racking here at Riverside. Beautiful conditions to play touch footy in.
I don't know, that speed that these boys are carrying around at the moment is still very impressive for...
Yeah, when I say a change of speeds, because we've gone from, 35s, 30s earlier, or 40s, 35s, and now the 55s. The skills and the experience are certainly on show, and that's a great drive from the Aussies. Fresh legs come onto the field. There's David Chung. This is Dewgood now. Jeff Chung. Fong with a good release. Edward Fong with a great release to the support player who scores. Wide. Let's have a look at it again. There's Fong off the left foot. Nice heads up touch. Gets a short ball away.
Nice little dummy.
Yeah, he didn't need to throw any more passes there. He knew the line had opened up. And that's Anthony Hoffmeyer. But great setup there from Fong from acting half. The 1-0 early lead to Australia. Another tap off from the Touch Blacks. Want to try and score here if they can, just to maintain some contact. It's very, very early days. The 1-0 lead for the Aussies. They're not going to rest either, so they'll keep moving up in defence, and they do. Jam up short there, long, looking long, but they come back to the inside. It's a collision through the rucks, and a change over, and the Aussies will come off their own line. Push forward. Now they're going to try and get to the sub box if they can. There's Chung going down. Drive up to the halfway line now. That's good penetration. As Brett Gillard took that one forward. Now they roll on through James Marks. Over the halfway line. Good attacking position here for Ian Jordan. Jordan dummy, shows and goes. Quick hands on the drop. Beautiful try by the Australians. It'll be John Salmon, the fish, that'll get one.
get this on the try lights for later.
Have a look at the skills. We talk, as I said earlier, the pace may not be there, but the skills and experience are second to none. Let's look at it. That little behind the back pass, and then as he was falling, able to get a clean pass away to Salmon. Salmon just happened to be in the right spot at the right time.
The forward flip pass. It's not often we see that one, but it worked this time.
It was brilliant from the Aussies. As you said, get that on the try lights reel. And I'm sure at the end of the day, that'll be one that people will be talking about here. And also, wherever you're viewing from, that one will stick in the memory bank. Now it's the Touch Blacks on the attack once again. Plenty of talk out there. You can hear it coming through the effects mics. This coverage coming to you from Next Gen, doing a great job. Next Gen XP.
Nice little shot there by the Aussie link to just stop the Kiwis on that last touch.
Now the Aussies get another opportunity. From depth, they have to come off their own line. The 2 touches, they're right up to their sub box. It'll be 3 touches on the halfway line now. Gives them a few opportunities on the opposite side of the halfway line, but no, they're caught in. So now they have to redirect back through the middle. I thought he was going to get through there, but the touch came across just in time. He went for the dummy. David Chung. The touch here on the wing. Kiwis looking to get the ball to the sub-box as well. Attempted intercept from Ian Smith.
He thought he was going all the way there. His reaction said he was getting a score, but couldn't get it. So, new set to the Kiwis. Good starting position for them now. Just over halfway after the second touch.
Had eyes for the line, that's for sure.
He definitely did.
Now the Kiwis push through the middle. Wayne Lipsum. That's Paul Norris with the ball in hand. Norris goes down, no half in position. You can see Norris calling for support. Terry Tuatea.
Oh, step pass.
Terry Tuatea.
Gets his hands in there again.
6 more.
He? I think that was Ian Smith there as well, giving another set of 6. So he's looking to get. He must have some sort of fine if he goes full field, or so that's what he's trying in this game. Or this set anyway.
Let's keep an eye on Terry Tuatea. He looked to be the hot stepper, the hot hand as well. Here he is in the number 6 jumper. That's Paul Norris working with Tuatea. Here he is now, ball in hand. Wants to go down, strike dump. Sweeper comes around in the shape of James Lofiso. And unfortunately for the Touch Blacks, that one goes to ground. So it will be the Aussies to roll off their line once again. A little bit more direct. Now they start moving the ball to the left-hand side, trying to get to their sub-box. There's another 3rd touch on the halfway line. So they roll forward now. This is better from the Aussies. There's the straight play. A little bit of momentum on the back end of this one. A couple of touches remain. A wrap-around play. Down they go. Numbers here. If they can get the ball gone, they don't. So it's a changeover.
Yeah, nice defence by the Kiwis. They just stayed man on. There was no overlaps there. So Kiwis look to just drive out. The ball goes behind a little bit deeper than normal, but it's good footwork.
Brett Gillard found up out of the line there. He didn't get the touch he needed and was caught in no man's land. Has to work hard to get back. He does now. So Australia defensive line stands strong. Coming forward, trying to put pressure on the attack of the Touch Blacks. And ball to ground. Just not finishing their sets very well or very deep into Australian territory, Meeks.
No, not at the moment. They're not getting deep enough into the Australian line to kind of penetrate, or the timing really. They're not getting enough Australian players offside either, where you see as the Aussies just drive on, they're just getting their 4th and 5th touches a little bit deeper and a little bit more quicker. The ball's coming off the ground a little bit quicker than what the Kiwis are doing. Chance
coming here for the Aussies. It's Dogood there, giving it off to Fong. Dogood into half. Fong steps to the right. They look to the left. The switch back on the inside, and that's all it took for a well-constructed try. Bodies in numbers, and it is Ian Smith that gets across the line for the Australians. But the lead-up work was all done through the middle. There's the release from Dogood. Nice sweep play. Then a late switch. You could see the number 3 from New Zealand, the middle, was caught, all ends up. And unfortunately, the cover didn't come across in time.
Yeah, we talked about the speed, but I guess the lack of speed earlier, but their execution from the Aussies here is just pretty clinical there. They ran a typical sweeper, and the cut back inside is very good, and the defending middle just couldn't get underneath to get that, to stop that try.
Yeah, and it is New Zealand now. They really need to just try to consolidate here if they can. Maintain contact with the Aussies, but we see an offensive penalty or a hard touch. You don't often see it. We saw one in the earlier game.
Did, yeah.
And so, yeah, 2 games in a row where the initiating player, the player initiating the contact, is the attacker. And they've been adjudged to have, forced the contact. And now it's the Aussies rolling forward.
At the end of the day, it's a test match, isn't it? These guys want to win it no matter what. So even if the gold medals come in matches later on in the week, it's a test match and they want to win it, don't they? So passion's going to be showing. And then the Aussies giving a penalty away for throwing the ball away. So Kiwi should have a good chance of getting a score on the board here.
I think that's just the referee stamping his authority on the match there. So it is the Kiwis to take the tap. 7 metre line now. Little bounce around. That's Terry to a tear. Really think he is the one to watch here. James Lofiso, also try scorer for New Zealand. Here in the link position. They'll work well together once again. Tortilla brings it out to Lofiso. Lofiso on the out ball. Play. Yeah. I think that's John Salmon.
Nearly got him on his heels. He got that touch just in time.
Roll on. New Zealanders into the Aussie line, but again, another set. Finished without any real questions asked of the Australian defence.
Yeah, I mean, they had that one chance where they ran a bounce play, but that was on 4th, so they didn't really have a strike dump on 5th. And that's, if you've not got any momentum on 5th, it's pretty stationary on 5th. It's you struggle to get any scores from that situation. So it's good defence from the Aussies, and they're already over halfway. I think it's 4th coming now. It might be 5th if the referee puts his hands up for 5th. And it wasn't square, so the Kiwis will have the ball back now.
Yeah, James Marks it was that got the roll ball down. The referee said you weren't square, James, and we're going to come back for the changeover. So it'll be New Zealand here. They come out of their own territory. They weren't on their line as such. Incorrect roll ball, and the New Zealanders are claiming that the foot was in the roll ball. The referee disagrees.
Kiwi was trying to get the Australian to say he was, but he's never going to agree to that one, is he? Nice hands on the far side, so the Aussies got a 2-on-1.
Yeah, that was Ian Smith again, the try scorer from earlier. That was just pushing down that far touch line. They have back in the middle.
Sweeper again.
Sweeper. But they're going to come back short. They've turned the middle defender around. Little dummy to get through the line. Body's in motion. Ball's going to go to ground here, and we'll call that ball away.
Yeah, nice from the Aussies here. They ran the sweeper. They scored off the sweeper last time, so instead of giving the sweeper, they came through short side, and the Australian middler who scooped through, I think he just caught his own feet, unfortunately, as he got through, saw the white line, saw some players, and tripped himself up, unfortunately. But nice variation from the Aussies. It'll be interesting to see if they continue with that sweeper and run other variations off it.
It's something that I'm known for. My feet don't go where my head was trying to take me. Yeah.
Let's just blame it. Might have been a bit of a downhill in that corner.
we'll give that benefit of the doubt. As the Kiwis again roll forward, but completing the set not deep enough again into the Australian territory, so they just need to consolidate a little bit there at halftime. I think when they come together and just are able to talk about it, they need more penetration, as we see Salmon throw a dummy and then get the ball back to the middle. This is Do Good down for Shane Rigby. That's Fong. Rigby sweeps to the left. Keep an eye on Shane Rigby, the Riggers. Nice ball to Salmon. Riggers holds it up. The master of timing, Shane Rigby, hits Salmon on the chest, and that's another beautiful try to the Aussies.
Yeah, it's the same setup as what the Aussies have done every time so far. It's sweeper play. Number 2 of New Zealand, Paul Norris, just couldn't get outside to chase that middle, and the link just chopped his hole nicely. So obviously Australia have come in just going to run sweepers for this first half off any static line plays.
It is another tap off here for the Kiwis. Australia with that 4-0 lead. Still 6 minutes remain in this half. Kiwis will want to score here if they can. They need to score if they want to have any scoreboard contact with the Australian team. But I have to say, Meeksy, there hasn't been too much. I think it'll be an individual brilliance thing that'll, get New Zealand on the scoreboard here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right there. I think they're not troubling the whole six of Australia, if that makes sense. They're not trying to make them collapse or anything. So everything's man on, and that's always difficult when it's man on to create a score. So it'll be a piece of individual brilliance. Potentially, I know Pete Walters is actually playing in this game, but that's probably something what they're going to look to do later on in the tournament, bring Pete Walters on and hopefully bring in a bit of individual brilliance for that game, potentially gold medal match.
Is Australia on the attack once again. Little hop step from Ian Jordan. Quick hands.
Oh, how's the hamstrings there of that?
Yeah.
Number 6 from Australia. Yeah. Hamstrings there.
So Riggers played in the Australian men's opens team in the 1995 World Cup in Hawaii. It was a stalwart of Australian touch in the opens division through that 90s period, and has recently sort of been back in the fold in the senior division. So it's the experience of that fella certainly cannot be questioned in this lineup.
And neither is Kennedy's hamstrings.
He's certainly a student of this game, and it's great to see him bring it back out here at the World Cup here in Nottingham.
Just so impressive how these guys are still running, and obviously their knowledge never really wavers, but they're still putting their bodies through it all the time to make sure that they can compete at this level.
And the way the competitions are structured back home as well, the representative competitions are all in age groups, but most of the park touch, these guys would still be competing against some of the opens players. There might be multiple divisions within the opens category, and they could be in some of the lower divisions, but they're playing against youngsters. They're bringing their experience and putting back into the sport that way as well.
Absolutely. I spent a bit of time with Steve Hughes back in 2015. He helped coach our England men's open team, and then I went out and spent some time with him, with Steve and Sandra. But then my father-in-law also plays for the England men's 55. So the difference in terms of what standard of touch everyone can play in England obviously is always different, but especially at that 55 level, we don't have players that have been playing for 30 years as Steve has and as the other Australians have, whereas they're in England, they're learning from only 10 years ago. So it's a big difference, and hopefully in 30 years time this is where England will be, but you can see that difference now.
Yeah, absolutely. And those two that you mentioned, Steve and Sandra Hughes, amazing impact that they've had on the game back in Australia at so many levels. They are just absolute champions, not of sport, but of life.
Absolutely.
And now the Kiwis, they get another chance here. Up over the halfway line they roll. This is better. This is more direct. And there's players in support. But the Aussies shut it down. You see them a little bit fitter, a little bit faster, the Australian team. There's Fong and Dogood and Salmon. Weaver play comes on. Look to set up David Chung out here in the link on the right-hand edge if they can. Chung on back to release, body contact, last touch, play on is the call. And he looks for the switch pass, but not before the touch was made. Pressure from Brett Gillard on the wing, comes up, makes the touch. It's Chung coming through the ruck, play on was the call. New Zealand now up to the halfway line. Touch in the middle, final touch here.
Oh, he's through.
Lofisa it was that found Paul Norris. Norris gets over the stripe. No, we've had a touch call.
Nice little scoop through there, went short side, step back long. And did he get it? Oh, he puts his hand up. He does put his hand up slightly. He must have just felt that contact quite late. So you got to trust the players in touch. Can't always see every single touch, but you got to trust that each other's being honest.
I can guarantee you, if that man David Chung called a touch, there was a touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is a gentleman.
It's one of the questions you get asked for in England that people have never seen touch before. What happens if you don't feel it or you don't believe someone? You've got to just trust them unless the referee is 100% correct. So, no, definitely made the touch there.
And the Australians play on little back pass. It was a not square. Yeah.
We both saw that one at that time, didn't we?
Yeah, I heard you pick it up, and I was sort of inhaling at the same time. Yep, there it was.
The referee saw it just as much.
And he's the only one that counts. We can, call whatever we want over here, but it's not going to have any real impact on the outcome of the game. But as the Kiwis roll on once again. See if this will be. He's away. Oh, the hooter. The chase is on. But it is Greg Okaroa that goes all the way. Almost coast to coast.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened here. I think we just missed it as he went through. We'll see it now. It's just individual brilliance, like we said earlier, right? Just a nice weave around a couple of players and no one could catch him and he's away. So,
and I think it was Ian Jordan. Ian Jordan who was caught short in defence. He was involved in the earlier turnover and was still retreating. He'd only just got back on side when Okaroa took him on, and it just came down to pace.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely had it there.
So 4-2 the scoreline now. Australia over New Zealand. We'll take a short break here at halftime.
So I'll just get loads in the bag.
Back with the second half. Back with the second half here for this men's 55 fixture. I've just had it confirmed. It is Australia 4-1 over New Zealand. 4-1 here, the halftime score. And it is the New Zealanders with the first opportunity of the second half. They scored right on the bell to maintain some contact with the Aussies. They'll hope to score here if they can again. This is the final touch. 6 more is the call. The ball over the top. Would have found the Lig, who was driving hard in on the unders line, but John Salmon gets the big paws up, knocks it down, and that's 6 more. So a good opportunity here, Meeksy, for the Kiwis in the second half.
Firstly, good defensive position there by John Salmon from the Australians, but good attack by the Kiwis, and they get a repeat set going at the line. And that was just the hole closed in the middle.
Here we are, just a couple of touches under their belt, the Kiwis. Opportunity here, they bounce back from Lofiso. There's Terry Tuatea in half, keep an eye on him. There he goes, he bounces out to Lofiso once again. Nobody coming up, they're trying to drag the Australians off the line. Tuatea, Lofiso. This time Salmon takes the ball into space.
Has he gone? He's gone.
Yeah, I'm going to back him. Absolutely going to back the fish. He'll go coast to coast. It was great chase there from the New Zealanders through Jim Griffiths, but the pace of John Salmon takes him all the way coast to coast.
We spoke about John Salmon's body positioning, and we talk about the speed. I mean, he's clearly showing lots of speed, but his defensive nous there to get up in the passing channel, he's got that one. He's gone full field. So
that's the 3rd try for Salmon in this match. But you can see there as he streaked away, beautiful running style, very balanced player, and great experience in this Australian lineup. Now, the Kiwis, they look to come back here to the Australian line, and those intercepts can often be a heartbreaker.
Yeah, the Kiwis were moving the Aussies around a bit, especially on their left, the Kiwi left side. And then they came back the right side, and as they get the ball on a short here.
They looked to do it exactly the same way then. The sweeper had gone left, they looked to come back to the right, but there was no space available. And it's just another, tired end of the set as such. Now the Aussies push forward once again. Good ball movement through the middle. That's Fong getting the ball down. It's Do Good on the deck for Fong. Back into the middle for Do Good. Hoffmeyer back to Do Good. Do Good with a release to Fong. Fong with a good pass out to the wing. Cover comes across beautifully. And they shut that one down, but great ball movement from the Australians. Quick hands all round. But the Kiwi defence was up to the task. There's Do Good with a little dummy for Fong. Fong accelerates through a hole, show and go, but that's the final touch. Great touch by the New Zealanders.
Yeah, scramble from the Kiwis' defence here is great. They actually made the Aussies do all the hard work and pass 3 or 4 times across. Everyone covered under after the Kiwis shot. They scrambled, and then they had to scramble on last as well. I think they will feel the effects of trying to get over. No, I say that, and they're already on the 10-metre line as a sub off. They're coming.
It was a great drive there from the Kiwis. He really put his back into it and took the ball hard into the Aussie line. We see great images here coming your way, right over the top of the New Zealand sub box on the halfway line now. Final touch for the Kiwis. They go forward, short ball into space, but shut down beautifully by the Australians. Now they move the ball back into the middle. That's Fong. He'll go down for Do Good. In Smith sweeps around. Now some fresh legs come on. That's Gillard. Just moving around the middle here, the Aussies, just keeping it in midfield. Rigby at link here, dangerous. There's Chung out of half. Chung with a late switch to Riggers. Riggers straightens up through the hole. Cover comes across in the shape of Paul Norris for the touch on Shane Rigby. That was acceleration and beautiful play there between Chung and Riggers, two great mates. The switch call from Chung. Chung down into half. This time they look long left, and that is beautifully worked by David Chung. You can't beat experience, and he's got it in spades.
Yeah, he does. You can see that there. He picks up. He's been picking up out of half a lot. He's obviously looking to do that all the time. Short side, Kiwi shot, and that just allows the 3-on-2 pass. So.
And a big finish from Amir Ayoub. He did everything it took to make sure he took control of that one to get it to the line.
Big bread basket.
And great work to Amir Ayoub on the end of that beautiful pass from David Chung. And it is the Kiwis now that roll on. There's Turatia and Lofiso in the middle, obviously working together as a pod. That's beautifully done.
This is Kiwi touch at its finest.
Yeah, Lofiso and Terry Turatia. Sensationals. Talked about them, keeping an eye on them, and that's exactly why. Because if you take your eye off them, you miss brilliance like that. He skipped outside the defender, beaten all ends up, and you can see the defeat on his face. As soon as he realised that Turatia had stepped out, he knew he was beaten all ends.
Old school touch there, really. Picks up long side. Turatia just stops, then bounces, and defender just tracks him on the inside and then can't get outside for the bounce. So lovely to watch. I'd like to see more of that at times, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the division for it. As
Absolutely.
we see the Aussies now push up through the middle for Jugood. Also Ian Smith there. This is Fong now. Riggers steps out to the right-hand side. Ball off the ground. Riggers goes long for Brett Gillard. Can't take control of that one out wide. You can see Brett acknowledge that one as well. Puts his hand up and says, sorry, mate. But they just get on with it. Shake it off. It'll be the New Zealanders to bring it out from the Australian, or from their own line. Driving it in through the middle. This is better, much better start here for the Kiwis in this half.
They're moving the ball a little bit more than they were in the first half as well. They were struggling to drive off, but they're clearly getting to the Australian half this time.
Great meters here. You can hear the calls from the bench now set, and that's exactly what's required. Here they go again, but nothing doing. The Aussies have called that one easily. But much better, more enterprising play. Talked about the ends of the sets being deeper in the Australian half. On that occasion, they certainly were. So now the Aussies roll up to the line. Over to their sub-box, a sloppy pass back on the inside. And that was just lazy. I think it was Brett Gillard in the half roll.
And then you just look over to the Australian sub-box and all coaches are just put their arms crossed. Clearly not happy with that one, but they've got to now defend it and see if the Kiwis can stop the Kiwis. And
unfortunately puts that one down. It was Turatia and Lofiso who were on there together again. Unfortunately for the New Zealanders, that one goes to ground. Brandon McDonald in half. He's been busy as well. There's Chung and Hoffmeyer. Chung there just pointing, telling players where he wants them. It's the sort of play he's known for. This is where he controls around this ruck area. There he goes, pick and scoop, breaks to the left-hand side. Looking for the runner to come back inside. It'll be a late pass on that one.
Tell you what, the follow was on there. Chung went through short side and there was no one following him. But it got caught touch pass, so Kiwis have got the ball again.
I think he was either looking for that inside trail or for Brandon McDonald to collapse underneath him late, and it would have been, as you said, try time, but can't have it every time.
No.
Just got to keep cracking away with it, and these Aussies will do that, as will the New Zealanders. I'll keep going right till the final hooter, or the final Claxton, I think you guys call them over here, don't you?
I'd say hooter.
We've had plenty of Claxton tests all morning. I think I counted 27. And now the change over here for the Aussies to roll it off their line. There's McDonald. Chung on the wraparound play, but again, just trying to get the ball to the sideline. Get the Aussie new Aussie players onto the field, and they do. Quick release. You hear the shouts from the New Zealanders here, good D, and it certainly was. They kept the Australians in positions they didn't really want to be in. This will be a good end of the set if they can all move up here. They've done that beautifully, and they end a set of the Australians on the halfway line, and that is, you know, field position gold right there.
Absolutely. It's the first time the Kiwis have really held the Aussies to halfway, so hopefully they can get a few players on and get a strike done and try and get one back here.
They roll forward now, and here comes Tuatau. He's back on, and there is Lofiso. All in the hands of Sean Miller. He'll set it up now. There's Tuatau and Lofiso. Working with Todd Peterson now. Peterson to Lofiso. Lofiso goes long. Tuatau tucked in tight, and the outside man in Sean Miller was hitting the hole, but the ball goes to ground. Now the Aussies roll towards their sub box, and a collision in the roll ball. Play on. Consequential contact. Again, it's broken down a little bit here for the Aussies on the halfway line. A couple of touch remain here. The Aussies will be well aware of what the touch count is. Fong drives into the line. That's good work. This is Rigby with the ball in hand again. The long bomb out to the left. Well read, tap back inside, but the defence had come up as well. And that one shut down, but again, deep in their own territory.
First time the Aussies have run a sweep in the second half, so, and they had to step back in the long ball. The Kiwis are all man on, so it was okay. Be interesting to see if the Australians just work on their drive. They only got to the 10-metre line the last two times, and I think they dropped maybe the third one as well. So I think something they just need to clean up on in this next 5 minutes.
They have a little bit of scoreboard, you know, supremacy here, but I know the way the Aussies work. They don't like to drop mindset or to drop skill sets at all in any of their matches. So they'll work on that. You see Fong up out of the line there to make that final touch. They'll set themselves here, and on this turnover, there's still structures that they need to run through. And take it into the line through Ian Smith. Nice drive also from Dogood. Parsons there. Donald. Watch. Oh, through from half. Now he just needs to find a man in space, and he does on the trail. That's Shane Rigby.
He won't be thanking his knees after that dive, but what a nice little scoop between the two middles there, and Shane Rigby just got there in time to get that score.
Yeah, it was nicely done. They set it up beautifully. I thought it had sort of slowed down a little bit just around that halfway mark, but they regrouped, got themselves into good field position, and they got the reward at the end of it. And good to see Shane Rigby in the Touch World Cup scorebook once again.
But he's got quite a few, hasn't he?
I reckon there's quite a few under his belt. I don't have the almanac with me. Kerry Thompson's World Cup or World Almanac for touch football. Shout out to CT if you're watching back in Australia, mate. Thank you for everything you've done for our sport, and congratulations on Fit Legend status. Absolutely well deserved. As we see New Zealand back on the attack. It was great to hear the Federation naming, you know, Hall of Famers and legend status the other day at this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a couple of those players are out there on this field right now.
Yeah, a lot of these players shape the game as what it is today, right? Gone from 7 players to 6, and a lot of these players would have played both sides of that.
Lots of real changes. And the very first World Cup in 1988, which was held on the Gold Coast in Australia, it was a forward pass in every set of 6. It was a gridiron pass brought in by the Northern Americans, Canadians that were there. And yeah, the forward pass.
And is it a better sport now?
Oh, it's a much better sport now, I have to say.
Yeah. It's got to start somewhere though, right?
Absolutely.
And these guys definitely started it and are shaping it as we see it today.
Just lost the handle on that one as he was going across the line. I don't know how deep it... I don't know if he was close to the dead ball line. It just trickled out of the fingers because there didn't seem to be anybody pushing up in support.
I think the Australians might have got a penalty for offside though, or did they get a hand on it?
Looks like they've got the ball back.
Yeah.
There was definitely no hand on it,
Yeah.
but the referee. Oh, so it's a
It was a holding call.
holding call, or
Super
at
forced
least
sub.
the obstruction call, and then a forced sub. So the Aussies back on the attack now.
6 on
This is
5
Fong.
momentarily, and they're just
Long
gonna
ball out to the
capitalise
wing.
on it.
It was
Oh,
bounced off the shoulder.
you can see a few of the Aussie refs watching out here, and they've just been chuckling at that one as we see that. So I think he'll get something off the field for that one. But great setup by the Aussies, and just unfortunate at the end. It all happens to us all.
And New Zealand with the ball once again coming off their line. Been the call of the day for them. Yeah. Well, Johnny Hallidus out here on the wing. He'll want to replay that one. That one will be spinning through his head, I reckon. What could I have done better? What should I have done? Where should I have been? Good man, Johnny Hallidus. And he'll get plenty of opportunities.
Oh, I'm sure he's scored multiple tries this tournament so far. Much harder ones than that as well.
It's actually the easy ones like that, but we
No one
call
wants
them.
time.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Just an incorrect roll ball there by the Kiwis.
It's I do a little bit of sport commentary again for softball, and we say, you know, a lot of people call it an easy play, but nothing's easy out there because there's all pressures that unless you're a participant you don't understand.
Absolutely, it looks so easy on the sideline, doesn't it?
So I've got the call there where I say a regulation play as opposed to an easy one. So that one, instead of being an easy catch, I'm going to call it a regulation
yeah,
catch.
fair enough.
This is Chung again, but a nice touch.
Yeah.
Paul Norris it was that got the fingertips on to Dave Chung. We're back to 3 minutes remaining in this match. And it will be New Zealand here. Hard drive it. I love that call so late in the game. They're still looking to take it to the Aussies. This is a much better set for the Touch Blacks, the men's 55s. Last touch. Nice over the top.
Oh.
We're going to call 6 more. Or we know a penalty for offside. So they will get another chance here. Yeah. Numbers come onto the field for the New Zealanders. Through the middle is David Port. Evan Orlowski. Orlowski back to Port. No, that is Todd Peterson. Peterson down. Orlowski. Little dummy gets through behind the line. Goes long. Can he find his man? He does. That's another regulation catch, and that's how you do it.
Absolutely, he's just waiting for that one. It's come out.
Let's have a look at it here again.
Dancing feet.
Out of half, just a little pump, as you said, and then held it beautifully. The timing was right on the money, and that was beautifully taken, almost on his knees. Or he was on his knee, just waiting for it to drop into that breadbasket, as you called earlier. And that is a beautiful way for the Kiwis to round it out here.
Yeah, they'll be happy with that.
Minute and a half remains. From end to end then, that was the best set of 6 I think I've seen the Kiwis play in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, and they got the repeat set as well, so obviously Australians are a little bit more tired than they would be normally, coming towards the end of the game as well. So, good little end for the Kiwis, which hopefully just defend the Aussies out there, they will be.
Yep. James Marks with the ball now, Rigby into half. Rigby with a long left to right pass, finds a winger, it's a late switch. Beautiful pass. Absolutely beautiful timing there from John Hallidus. Let's see it again. That's Hallidus. We remember him from earlier.
Great long ball.
Have a look at this play here. Heads up. That's beautiful. Sleight of hand, the illusionist, John Hallidus, with that pass to the try scorer.
Seen a couple of try lights, haven't we, for today in this game? think, like we said, just the way these guys move the ball around still, it's just incredible. We should all be looking at this from a Northern Hemisphere perspective.
Anthony Hoffmeyer was on the end of that one. And the magician, John Hallidus. Kudos to you, my friend. That's a great way to finish this match. The men's 55s, Australia defeating New Zealand, 8 tries to 3. Meeksy, as you said, mate, it's people around the world should be watching games like this, picking up those plays, those setups, the structures that these guys play, because it's easy to pick it apart and read.
Yeah, absolutely. You're also watching legends of the game first and foremost, and then you're seeing how they play, and they still run the same patterns that everyone else should be running. So, and you can pick it apart just slightly easier. So yeah, I'd recommend anyone watching that game to